Have you ever wondered about an empire that lasted for over 600 years, stretching across 3 continents and shaping the world as we know it today? Get ready, because today we're diving deep into the incredible story of the Ottoman Empire, a titan of history whose legacy still echoes in our modern world. The story begins in the year 1299, in a region of modern-day Turkey known as Anatolia. A charismatic Turkish tribal leader named Osman I laid the foundation for what would become one of the most powerful empires in history. It all started small, but Osman and his successors were ambitious. They combined brilliant military strategies with a knack for strong, centralized administration, and their small state began to expand and expand and expand. Through a series of conquests, they pushed their borders outward, swallowing up neighboring territories and building a formidable force that would soon command the world's attention. The year 1453 marks a pivotal moment, not just for the Ottomans, but for all of world history. This was the year that Sultan Mehmed II, later known as Mehmed the Conqueror, achieved what many thought was impossible. He captured the legendary city of Constantinople, the heart of the Byzantine Empire for over 1,000 years. This was a monumental victory. Constantinople was renamed Istanbul and became the glorious new capital of the Ottoman Empire. The fall of this city sent shockwaves across Europe, signaling the end of the Middle Ages and the dawn of a new era. With the Ottomans now positioned as a true global superpower straddling the crossroads of Europe and Asia. With Istanbul as their capital, the Ottomans entered a golden age, a period of unparalleled power, wealth, and cultural brilliance. This era is most closely associated with one man, Suleiman the Magnificent, who reigned from 1520 to 1566. Under Suleiman's leadership, the empire reached its zenith. His armies marched deep into Europe, laying siege to Vienna, and his fleets dominated the Mediterranean Sea. The Ottoman flag flew over vast territories in Europe, Asia, and Africa. But Suleiman was more than just a conqueror. He was also a brilliant statesman and a patron of the arts. He reformed the legal system, creating a comprehensive code of laws that earned him the nickname the Lawgiver. He commissioned breathtaking architectural masterpieces, including grand mosques and palaces that still stand today, transforming Istanbul into a dazzling center of culture, art, and learning. During his reign, the Ottoman Empire was arguably the richest and most powerful state on earth. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Ottoman Empire was its approach to governance and society. For centuries, it was a melting pot of cultures, religions, and ethnicities. In an era often marked by religious persecution, the Ottomans practiced a policy of relative tolerance. Muslims, Christians, and Jews were allowed to live together under the millet system, which gave each religious community a degree of autonomy to govern its own affairs, from marriage and divorce to education. This wasn't always perfect, of course, but it allowed for a diverse and cosmopolitan society to flourish. The empire also controlled vital trade routes, connecting the East and the West. The Grand Bazaar in Istanbul was the Amazon of its day, a bustling hub where silks from China, spices from India, and goods from Europe were all traded, generating immense wealth and fostering cultural exchange. The empire's architectural achievements are another testament to its greatness. Ottoman architects, like the legendary Mimar Sinan, blended Byzantine, Persian, and Islamic styles to create something truly unique. Majestic mosques with soaring domes and slender minarets, opulent palaces like the Topkapi Palace with its intricate tilework and lush gardens, and practical structures like bridges and aqueducts were built across the empire. These buildings were not just functional. They were powerful statements of Ottoman wealth, faith, and imperial might. They were designed to inspire awe and project an image of a sophisticated, powerful civilization, and they continue to captivate visitors to this day. However, as with all great empires, the Golden Age could not last forever. After the death of Suleiman the Magnificent in 1566, a slow and gradual decline began. A series of weaker, less capable sultans came to the throne. Internal problems like corruption, court intrigues, and power struggles weakened the central administration. The elite Janissary Corps, once the empire's unbeatable military force, became resistant to reform, and often interfered in politics, sometimes even overthrowing sultans who threatened their privileges. Externally, the world was changing rapidly. The Renaissance, the scientific revolution, and the industrial revolution were transforming Europe, giving European nations a significant military and technological edge. The Ottomans struggled to keep pace with these advances. By the 19th century, the decline had become painfully obvious. The empire was dubbed the sick man of Europe. It was losing territory at an alarming rate. Nationalist independence movements, often supported by rival European powers like Russia and Austria, erupted across the Balkans. Greece, Serbia, Romania, and Bulgaria all broke away to form independent nations. The empire was forced to implement a series of reforms known as the Tanzimat in an attempt to modernize its administration, military, and economy, but these efforts were often too little, too late. The once mighty empire was now fighting just to survive, caught in a complex web of European rivalries and internal pressures. The final blow came with the outbreak of World War I in 1914. The Ottoman Empire made the fateful decision to ally with Germany and the Central Powers. The war was devastating. The empire faced conflict on multiple fronts, from the deserts of the Middle East to the mountains of the Caucasus. The British and French incited the Arab revolt, promising independence in exchange for fighting against the Ottomans, which further fractured the empire. By 1918, the Central Powers were defeated, and the Ottoman Empire was on the losing side. The victorious Allies occupied Istanbul and began carving up the empire's remaining territories. The once vast domain was reduced to a shadow of its former self, its fate now in the hands of foreign powers. The war, and its aftermath, sparked a Turkish nationalist movement led by a brilliant military commander named Mustafa Kemal, who would later be known as Ataturk. He rejected the humiliating terms of the peace treaty imposed by the Allies and led the Turkish War of Independence. Against all odds, he and his forces drove out the occupying powers and secured the sovereignty of the Turkish heartland. In 1922, the last Ottoman Sultan was deposed, officially ending over 600 years of imperial rule. The following year, the Republic of Turkey was proclaimed, with Mustafa Kemal Ataturk as its first president. A new, modern, secular nation-state rose from the ashes of the old empire. So, what is the legacy of this incredible empire? The Ottoman Empire's influence is immense and can still be seen everywhere. Politically, its collapse redrew the map of the Middle East and the Balkans, creating many of the modern countries we know today, but also leaving behind complex political disputes that persist to this day. Culturally, its contributions to art, music, cuisine, and architecture are undeniable. From Turkish coffee to the stunning Blue Mosque, the Ottoman legacy is a vibrant part of world culture. The empire's long history serves as a powerful case study in the rise and fall of great powers, a story of incredible achievement, cultural fusion, and eventual decline. It reminds us that history is a dynamic process, and even the mightiest empires are not eternal. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the history of the Ottoman Empire. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into history. What historical topic should we cover next? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.